It's Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Welcome to Disruptive FM, where business and culture collide. Sponsored by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. With your host, Jeffrey Colon.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up? It's Disruptive FM, episode 8 for the week ending June 8th, 2018. I'm Jeffrey Colon, your audio guide for the next quarter hour as we dissect the culture of business and look at what's happening at the intersection of tech, media, marketing, and popular culture. Push play.
Here are this week's trending topics. Ogilvy Re-Found.
This past week, the big advertising agency founded by Hewitt, Ogilvy, Benson, and Mather, also known as Ogilvy and Mather, also known as, now with its refounding, simply Ogilvy, sent some shockwaves through the marketing agency world by noting its new operating model would be under one profit and loss accounting spreadsheet. That's right. No more splintered and siloed operation. A total move toward a one Ogilvy. So why is this important? Well, for one, Ogilvy is noting what most businesses have failed to see. If you operate as all these little fiefdoms within a large organization, you start battling your own coworkers for a piece of the pie. Second, is the move helps Ogilvy pay attention to what it offers best, creative work to fill various ecosystems. The rebrand notes the agency's capabilities instead of departments and notes people's crafts instead of their job titles. So how will this play out in possibly influencing the whole ad agency industry? Well, we turn to our contributor at large and ex-Ogilvy alum, Cheryl Barbee, for her insight. Cheryl is director of strategy at Accenture Interactive, who specializes in future agency models. Here's what Cheryl had to say earlier this week via Skype.
The shifts that we're seeing are reflecting a change in how consumers buy, and it's reflecting a change in what our clients need. But what hasn't changed is how our clients' businesses operate and how we operate. And what I mean by that is the way clients buy work and the way we sell work hasn't fundamentally changed, where the market and customers have. So what's changed in response to the market and customers is specialization areas and offerings and what stories the agencies and consulting firms tell, what we try and say that we sell. But when it comes down to the reality on the ground, it's very difficult to have a client that has the authority, the sort of holistic impact on their own business, to talk to them about their business in the way that these shifts are meant to enable. So like when Ogilvy is saying we can bring the breadth and depth of all of Ogilvy and our teams working together, that is what they should do. But in the individual client interactions with Ogilvy, you need the person selling to the client to really be that holistic strategist, someone who can actually look across their business and see what the opportunity is without a bias for one specialty area or another. That's very difficult. It's very hard to find people who can be put in front of the client and build the right opportunity to sell in a modern approach to their business. And that's the approach Ogilvy's trying to take, this modern approach. So one, there's a challenge on the agency and consulting firm side, finding the right people to sell in a new approach to business. And on the buying side, it's very difficult to find the right client opportunity and the right client to work in a new way, because a lot of clients don't have a single P&L. So they're not necessarily incentivized on their end to bring an offering to their business that's going to touch a lot of different parts of it. And they may not have the money to buy an offering that does that, or they may not have the authority or influence to do that. What really needs to change is how business operates, both on the client side and the agency side, for this new vision to actually take root. The vision is right. The statement is right. And how consumers in the market work has been noted. But until we all change how we work, it's going to be very difficult for this vision to be a reality.
That's our contributor at large, Cheryl Barbee, who joined us via Skype and is Director of Strategy at Accenture Interactive and a former Ogilvy employee, giving her insight about the recent Ogilvy Re-Found.
Trending topics on DFM. No iPhone left behind.
This past week, it was Apple's WWDC, which is Worldwide Developers Conference for those who aren't familiar with the language known as acronyms. The focus was on something Apple is known for. Software. Just kidding. But really, because the focus wasn't on a new iPhone or a new iPad, Apple really showed where it wants to go in the new world of iOS 12 and Mojave for Mac OS. The new update will be available this fall, and it will be available to all devices which currently have iOS 11. This means the iPhone 5S and later will be getting the update. Same goes for any iPad released since 2013. Some of the interesting things to note about iOS 12. ARKit 2. Apple is betting big on mixed reality, but don't let that fool you that they are not going to pay attention to virtual reality as well. Rumors for years have them developing a VR headset, though it could be mixed reality. We won't know until it happens, if it ever happens. Besides ARKit, there were updates to Photos, apps and services, Siri, FaceTime, and yes, privacy. In fact, the privacy initiatives were basically Google and Facebook retargeting killers. But what impressed me most with this update is Apple is admitting it doesn't want to push a bunch of new hardware to make its bottom line. It might be moving finally into the post-Steve Jobs era, one where they are listening to customers and developers and responding. I have an iPhone 8, but if they announced iPhone 22, it's highly unlikely I would say, shut up and take my money. People are holding on to hardware much longer because, yes, the software is actually getting better. The phone is just a shell to a high amount of amazing solutions available to us. If Apple keeps going with this mindset, they shouldn't be counted out as non-innovative by the fanboys/fangirls and non-fanboys/non-fangirls, as they have been recently, who all tweeted in the past year, hey, should I buy an Android phone?
Trending topics on DFM. The Marvelous Kate Spade.
This past week, we lost a legend. This woman created the lifestyle brand really before the term existed. We're talking about the legendary Kate Spade, who took her own life this past week in her New York City apartment. She was 55. Spade is one of my biggest influences and probably yours too, but you didn't realize it if you're part of the DFM tribe. She got her start in journalism just like myself and the producers of this show. What she saw around her, she took in and then blasted back out in the form of a brand that brought functionality, style, and spunk to a fashion world that didn't really have much of it. Her handbags were sold via word of mouth in a little boutique in Soho back in the late 90s, where shoppers from around the world would take back her wares and get others asking, hey, where did you get that? Long before the influence of Instagram or social media. This made Spade a true revolutionary, not only in fashion, but in branding. In fact, she was so good at branding that Song Airlines, a lifestyle offshoot of Delta Airlines, hired her in 2002 to help design not only the flight crew uniforms, but the flight seats. Spade understood functionality, style, and how people would talk about it and share it with others. We seem to tag the term visionary onto any tech bro these days because software is eating the world. But we should give Spade the visionary tag too. Without her, none of us would even know about lifestyle marketing. We'll miss you, Kate.
It's Disruptive FM.
Communications.
The Business Culture Podcast.
They say if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of today.
It's Disruptive FM. I'm Jeffrey Cologne. Thanks for checking us out. In the background, music from German producer DJ Koze with a track called Seeing Aliens. That's from Koze's new artist album, Knock Knock. You can get it now on Pampa Records. Hey, you want to hear a bit of DFM every day? Check out our daily briefing on all Amazon Echo devices. Say, Alexa, enable Disruptive FM daily. And when you want to listen, say, Alexa, what's in the news? You'll get a 2-minute flash briefing curated by us. Okay, time once again we see things in the here and now and get excited about innovation and think the tools we use are on the edge. But what if I told you what you're using isn't new, but just a bunch of old ideas remixed?
Disruptive FM presents...
Stop! It's the motherfucking remix!
Everything is a remix.
The future of social media looks like social media from 20 years ago. House Party is a video communications app, sort of like a group video chat, but it's not popular simply because of that functionality. House Party actually took root as Meerkat. You remember it, the live streaming video app that became popular in 2015 at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. What House Party does to make itself cool is it borrows from AOL Messenger. Yes, the messaging app that no longer exists, but that we all loved because we would jump on it to see who was available to chat. Same thing here, except this time you can jump on a video and hang out with that friend while watching TV together or talking about the day's news. What's old is new again. Let's get this house party started right. Let's get this house party started quickly, right? All right, time to check out what's on the radar.
Here's what's on our radar. Number 1.
Cannes and the International Festival of Creativity is a week away, and the revised format seems to be putting emphasis on education and networking instead of awards and agencies. The theme is heavily doused in the topic of artificial intelligence. So what else will be discussed? Everything from Bitcoin and blockchain to programmatic advertising to chatbots. And we'll be there on the ground covering it all live. That's right. I'm putting my Microsoft hat on and hosting Future Boutique, presented by Microsoft Daily, from 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 12 noon Eastern Time, and 9 a.m. for you laggards on the West Coast. Just tune into the Facebook page of Microsoft Monday through Thursday of that week for all the action. We told you the future is live. Can you dig it?
Number 2.
The bird is the word. Bird scooters are taking over various cities on the West Coast. Some cities find them a nuisance, while others find them as taking back streets from cars, as more of the world's population moves back into the city. Whatever your take is on this, maybe flying cars aren't the future, but flying scooters are. More on this hot topic on a future episode of DFM.
Number 3.
Amazon Studios signs Jordan Peele to an exclusive deal. Jordan Peele, the writer and director of the hit film Get Out, has signed a deal giving Amazon the first look at his ideas for television series, the company said earlier this week. The agreement with Peele, who won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay in March, is sure to grab the attention of the industry and Amazon's streaming rival Netflix, which has been making its own deals with talent like Ryan Murphy, Shonda Rhimes, and Barack and Michelle Obama. Under the deal, Amazon will essentially have the right of first refusal for any of Peele's TV series. The move is Amazon's biggest talent-related deal since Jennifer Salk joined the company in February to run Amazon Studios. Salk, who was previously an entertainment executive at NBC, is responsible for bringing new life to the streaming service, which is widely seen as lagging far behind Netflix. Okay, that's a wrap for another episode of DFM. As always, thanks for checking us out. Connect with us by following me on Twitter or Instagram at DJGEOFFE, or follow Disruptive FM on Twitter or Instagram at Disruptive FM. And you can read more in-depth content via our sponsors, Microsoft.com/stories, or BrandingStrategyInsider.com. I'm Jeffrey Colon. We'll catch you next week.
You've been listening to Disruptive FM with Microsoft Communications designer Jeffrey Colon. All thoughts are his own. Disruptive FM is produced in Los Angeles by Feeler Media.